Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so on today's video we're going to be talking about something more serious and more sit down video kind of type of story time type of thing, and that's going to be about mental health. This is specifically related to the expat community and also specifically to the expat community in South Korea, because I am an expat in South Korea. Now, most of this that I'm going to say is probably related to any expat in the world. That is not anyone who is not living in their country of birth, right? Or rather has moved to a different country to experience a new life and all those things, right? I would like to preface this by saying that I am not a registered psychologist, therapist, counselor, psychiatrist, or anything like that. I am only sharing my experience, because I do genuinely believe that I'm not the only person that is experiencing more sadness, fatigue, lack of motivation, enthusiasm, just not feeling like being awake most of the day, you know. So I'm gonna share it. I'm really sharing it so that people can know that, like, you're not the only one. I'm experiencing it. Okay, I am tired making this video, but I wanted to put this video out there before the year ends and before Christmas. So we're gonna jump right into it. It is already winter time, so a lot of expats are feeling fatigue. They are feeling just demotivated. They're feeling lack of enthusiasm. You just want to be asleep all the time and every day, and you're just tired and you don't feel like doing things that you felt like doing before, right? And you're not the only one, because I'm definitely feeling that too. I'm even feeling a slump, even trying to create, and usually around this time is when I create the least. I usually don't create that much content, but around this time is when I create the least amount of content, and I'm trying more than anything to create more around this time so I can give you guys a little bit more. So just a quick disclaimer, I'm going to be reading from my notes so I don't go on a tangent, and yeah, let's get into it. So moving abroad, it requires a lot of energy, optimism, self-confidence, and independence, which it's like those who have the gumption to get into it and to initially just make the move, you know, it's you sometimes get to experience like a sweep of like symptoms of depression and anxiety, right? And we choose to rather like hide these things because we're very excited firstly for a new adventure, and we get so excited and we want to show people that living abroad is great. And mind you guys, it is great like 90% of the time, but there's times where it's not so amazing anymore, you know. And one of those things might be, it might even start as when you first move to Korea. As us as English teachers, we are at the mercy of our co-teachers, right? Who will then help us open a bank account, get an ARC account, get an ARC card, just get settled in the country, right? And sometimes that may feel like you're not competent enough. Like, why can't I figure this out? It's so easy. But the truth is, it happens. You understand? Especially as a grown up, you feel like you should have sort of a grasp on all of these things, right? You don't have to have a grasp on all of these things. It's okay to receive help, right? But that is not the biggest problem. It is one of, but it's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is when, specifically in the southern hemisphere, when winter comes, a lot of us as expats feel a slump, like I mentioned earlier in the video. And I'm going to tell you a story, like a quick story about how I had SAD, which is already diagnosed by my therapist. So if you would like to see if you can get that diagnosed, please see a professional, please see a therapist. Don't look at like what I experienced and be like, yep, I got that too. You never know. So about the last winter, actually like a year ago, right, I was sad all the time, like suddenly straight from summer, right, from summer vacation, and then suddenly next thing I'm constantly tired, I'm constantly sad, I'm constantly just feeling like there's a brain fog. And at the time I didn't know what I was experiencing, because I thought I was just tired from the fact that back home in South Africa, it's December, you know, it's like, hey, it's holiday time, we're relaxing and it's chilled and everything. So I didn't think much about it. I just wrote it off to me just having year-end fatigue. Right, I just wrote it off to just that. But the truth is, it was not that. Okay, but I was just like, you know what, just let's take it one day at a time, because we're tired now and all that stuff. So now January came into the picture, and I'm usually like more motivated in January. So this time I used the excuse that I didn't get rest in December, therefore all of that fatigue is coming into January. So it was so bad that some days I didn't want to get out of bed. It took tremendous work just to get out of bed and get ready for work, because I was just so demotivated. And the crazy thing about it is, we try so hard not to show these parts, because the last thing I want to do is bring you down, like, don't come to Korea because you get sad. But the truth is, it happens. You understand? Like, you experience these things, and I didn't post about it at the time because I didn't know what I was experiencing, right? And every time I saw a post about like someone having seasonal affective disorder, which is depression rather, not disorder, my bad, depression, I wrote it off as people that have SAD know that they have SAD, you know. I did not think that at any point at my big age that I could get diagnosed with that, right? Because I thought I'm old enough to know if I have something or if I have a problem, right? So I just kept going. I just kept saying, one day, like, just take it one day at a time and you'll get it sorted out. So January happened, and I was still having trouble getting up, and I didn't take holiday in January. I took my holiday in February, so I was still desk warming at school. So I would literally I think there were days where I didn't even take a shower. I was just like, no one's gonna see me. I'm not gonna see any kids. I'm not gonna do anything. I would get up, put on my sweatpants, put on a t-shirt, put on the big jacket. Everyone knows it. And when I get to school, I literally get into my classroom, switch off the lights, close the blinds, and go to sleep. So it was like I was leaving my bed for my other bed at school, right? And then I got back onto, you know, I was just like, I can't live this life of just not, like, after one day I'm not taking a shower, I just knew I need to get my stuff together, okay? So I then felt like I needed to force myself to shower. I needed to force myself to do things, which was making it even harder. And it was cold outside, so I couldn't even do the things that I usually love doing. It was just like a mess. And those few times that I got to see my friends were good times, because then I'm spending some time with people, right? So holidays came in and I cancelled my winter holiday plans, and all I did was just sleep throughout winter. And I was supposed to go set up a few things for my ARC, and I didn't even do it. I waited until schools were open again to go do things for my ARC. That's how bad everything was. And I just felt like crying like all the time. Like, it was just, I feel like if people have experienced it, you know how it feels. And it's like hell. It's like constantly being sad and being tired and being sleepy and just being so demotivated. It's like you're walking in a tunnel, like a dark tunnel. every day, all the time. You don't know if it's morning, it's night, or whatever. And a lot of this is related to the lack of sun that we don't get, because usually in South Africa during winter time we still get the sun, and usually like, you know, like we still get sun, you know, we still get sunlight, and we get that vitamin D, which then create the happy hormones, and you're happy, right? So we don't get enough of it in Korea in winter time. So that was something else. Also, I was not as active in winter time, so that also happy hormones don't get created through that anymore. So a lot of these things were just piling on top of each other, right? Until this one random day when the sun came out in February, and boy did I feel happy. I was so happy on that day. I was just like, the sun is shining, the birds are singing, everything is amazing. It's just like, hey, it's amazing, it's awesome. And then I felt more confident to speak to my therapist, because before this I didn't feel like talking to her at all. I just felt like it's too much work to have to talk to someone. It's just too much work to breathe right now. I don't want to do this, right? And until I eventually set up a little Zoom session with her, and I spoke to her, and she then diagnosed, right? And she did suggest a few things for me, and I'm going to share those things with you guys, because these things have helped me, and I'm seeing the difference this year, this winter. I feel much better, and it's just, honestly, I do feel much better in this winter than I did in the other one. I feel more mentally prepared, and I think also knowing what you're preparing for sort of helps. So that's the first important thing that I noticed. And the second thing was I have vitamin D pills. I haven't taken them yet, but I have them in my bag every day wherever I go, just in case I don't feel amazing, or I don't feel good, or just in case I feel, you know, like I need the vitamin D. So far it hasn't been that bad. The sun has been out lately, so it hasn't been like completely terrible. And I also do Pilates. So I've joined Pilates, like, I think if it's not a few months ago, it's probably like a month and a half ago, I joined a Pilates class. That really helps because I'm moving my body, and therefore creating the happy hormones, endorphins and everything. And that helps because I'm not sitting and I'm not in a slump, right? And these classes are like group classes, so even better, I get to have human interaction, which is another important factor. Like, if you can get as much human interaction as possible, that would be great. Like, talk to people in person, and especially your people, like your friends, your family, everyone. Talk to people and get to be around people. That definitely helps, because you're not sitting alone and thinking and living in your head the whole time, right? And sleep. I know that around this time we usually feel more sleepy, but if we can keep the sleep to 7 to 9 hours, that would be great, because then that's good. That's good enough rest. Those are the things that definitely helped me, and I know that there's an insurmountable amount of things that you can do. So if you do know, like, things that you do if you are experiencing seasonal affective depression, please put them down below in the comment section. Someone needs to hear it, someone needs to know. And also, I could be that someone. I could see something that you're doing, and I could just like incorporate it into my little daily routine program or whatever, because I want people to know that you're not alone. As much as you might feel like you're alone, and you might feel like you're spending more time alone, you're not alone. Most importantly, please speak to a registered therapist or a counselor who can help you deal with everything that you're working with and help you go through the motions. Okay, so guys, yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this one. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you do have a story, dude, like write it down, because sometimes talking about these things really does help, you know. And I am, yeah.